Hey guys, I hope that you're all having a really good day today and that you're being kind to yourselves. Now I know in the last video I said I was going to do something modern and minimalist. That didn't happen, but I am happy with what I've got. Let's just jump in and have a wee look. And before we really get into the speed build, I also want to say that my dogs are in the room with me right now and they don't want to leave. So I'm stuck with them and they keep moving about and making random noises. So I apologize if you can hear them. But yes, this is the build that we are working on and it's pretty much the complete opposite of modern and minimalist. Minimalist. It's a complete opposite. But I really enjoyed the sort of feel of it. I was really inspired by, outside my village, we have it's kind of like a croft. So it's this one little bungalow cottage thing and it has some outbuildings next to it and it's just up on this hill kind of by itself completely. And I was inspired by that. It's nothing like that, but I was inspired with that sort of build and I played around with stuff that I never normally done before, but I really had a lot of fun doing it. So I hope that you guys like it. I think it's a very playable lot as well as it looks nice. I mean, I think it looks nice. I think it looks nice. Hopefully you do too. We went for this very old sort of farmhouse-y sort of feel. And so here, this is the main thing that I've never really played around with, is doing driveways and this dirt track. This dirt track, it took me so long. I don't know why that was so difficult. I just couldn't make it look realistic. I don't know, I was never happy with it. I did it, I redid it, I did it again, I did it a third, fourth, fifth time. I just kept doing it. You can see here I'm just trying to blend out the tire track markings, and I couldn't decide if it looked natural, and I was like, does that look right? Yeah, you can see I just keep stopping. I'm like, I don't know if it looks okay or not, but I am happy with how it looks. When it has all the landscaping that as well, I think it does actually work really nicely. And yeah, I did a lot of landscaping. This was the first idea I had, was having this sort of sharp area with these grasses here, because I really like these grasses. And that was the main sort of idea I had. After that, I was just kind of playing around and I'm really happy with how it came together. But I had this very distinct image in my head, so I'm glad that that worked. Because it's always the most annoying thing when you have I get this all the time, when you have such a specific image in your head of something you want to build and then you try and do it and it just does not work. I don't know whether it's because it's really hard to make a lot of things that look fine naturally. I've said this a million times. Things that look fine naturally, they just don't look right in The Sims, or if it's just because I don't have enough skill to make it look right. But you know what I mean? It's the most infuriating thing when you have it, that image in your head and you really want to put it into The Sims and you just can't. So I'm happy that I could do this. I am happy. I do think it's an okay build. I think it would be fun to play in. I would like to play in it. And I've got a story for yous with who lives here, as per usual. Again, if you don't watch my speed builds, you will very soon learn that I always have a story of who lives in my house, and I always share that story with you guys because I think it's nice for you to understand where I'm coming from and to picture alongside me, who's in these spaces. I think that that's nice for us to be able to do. So yeah, here I've got a little pond just here at the entrance area. I really like the little entrance area. It looks cute. And yeah, that's my dog. What are you doing? What are you doing? You can lie down. It's because I'm talking. It's because I'm talking to you guys. She's jealous. Lie down. Good girl. Yeah, she gets really jealous when I talk to other people, so I'm sorry. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I don't normally use debug cars and stuff. I just don't. I because we can't use them, I don't bother putting them in my builds. Although having said that, recently I've been using them quite a bit in my builds because it does bring that sort of extra realism to it, doesn't it? I mean, so many people have cars. Almost every household has a car, it's just kind of the norm these days. But I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not even gonna waste my energy getting into that. But yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of the landscaping and that because the whole thing is on a slope. And I don't build with any mods at all, so landscaping on a slope when you have no mods to assist you is a challenge. It is a challenge. Everything floats, and it is such a battle to make sure things don't float. So that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to like do things in like tiers and stuff, and then blend the tiers in so that things could sit flat, but it didn't look like I was doing like a flat bit and then a hill and then a flat. You know what I mean? I was just trying to blend it all, and it was really, really difficult. You see there, I was struggling to get it to sit flat. I really do need to start getting mods for my game, because I didn't before, because I was playing on a laptop and my laptop was struggling like crazy, so there was no chance. But now I've got my PC, it should be absolutely fine. It's just, I think I've got so used to doing everything without mods. I should have a day where I just go and download loads of mods and explore them. Like, I really want to try a reshade. I really, really want to, but reshade scares me. Like, it's just, there's just a lot. There's a lot going on. And I see so many people saying they're confused by it, and I'm like, no, I can't. But maybe one day I will, maybe. Because I do think it makes your game look amazing. But here, I really love this. This is probably my favourite area of the build. I make this little ruin area. I just think it was nice to fill that space, and it wasn't until the very last minute I decided what I actually wanted to go in that space. But I just liked the idea of it. I thought it looked nice. I thought it could look really nice with all the landscaping and stuff, and it turns out to be my favourite part of the build, hands down. But yeah, you'll see I'm doing loads of landscaping. So, I was going to tell you the story of who lives here. Now, when I started doing this build, I had no idea who lived here, I'm going to be honest. It wasn't until I started doing the interiors and furnishing and all that sort of stuff that I decided who lived here. And I think that's fine, because like the exterior, you can't put too much personality into, you know, the landscaping or the exterior and stuff in this sense. Like, it's a lot of like cottage garden, you know, it's lots of wildflowers and stuff. But it was as soon as I got into doing the like outhouse area that I was like, yeah, this is who lives here. So, basically it's a mother, and she's an elder. She has I would say it's a son who's in his like maybe 30s, 40s, and he lived away, all this sort of stuff, and then due to some problems with the law, he had to come home because he lost his house and all this sort of stuff. It was drama. It was drama. So he had to come home to live with his mum. He is a mummy's boy, but also his mum, like, she's like, come on, dude, like, what are you playing at? But yeah, so it means that, you know, he grew up in this house, so they're used to having, you know, that space with them, but at the same time, like, he's now a grown man, he needs his own space, you know, so now they have to, like, kind of cram into the space. So I had in my mind that you'll see, I have the main house and then I have the outhouse, and I originally thought the outhouse was maybe like, you know, it was stables or something back in the day, or just kind of like storage or something like that. And that's what it was until her son came back, and then they were like, yeah, there's not enough space for us in this house, we need to convert the outhouse to give us extra space. And I really like that area. I think it looks really nice, actually. You'll see I pop like a whole like kind of hangout area, and I think it really works. But it just means that, you know, his mum, she obviously wants him to feel welcome to a certain extent, but also like she needs her space, her boundaries. And I think you can definitely see, especially in that hangout area, there's like two separate zones. There's like her zone and his zone. And I could just imagine that they have like time slots of when they can go hang out in there, because they each want to be able to go in there and like do their own thing, you know, like he wants to go drink and play ping pong, and she wants to go knit. Because I did say that she was quite big on knitting and gardening, and I know I know it's a bit basic, but I thought it just was nice with the build, okay? So she spends a lot of time outside. She has loads of different little areas that she can go, like switch off, relax, do her gardening, just potter about and have a nice time. Oh, this area, I really like this area too. I didn't know what to put at the back of the build, and then I decided to do this little nook, just this nice little area with some plants and that, and I like how it turned out. I didn't know what I was going to furnish it with, but I'm glad what I did do with it, but you'll see that in a minute. So there I was just trying to blend in some of the landscaping and that. It's hard work blending the landscaping in like this. It is hard. I mean, don't look too closely. You probably will see a lot of things floating. But I tried my best to make sure most of it was not, you know, like, it's unintentional if any of it is floating. And I apologise if it is. But yeah, you'll see in the house, I know we have like those dormer windows upstairs, but I haven't done anything with the upstairs. It's just a bungalow. And it is quite a compact space. I did add, after I already like started doing the builds and windows and that, I then decided to add a little extension on the back. So right now there's not got an extension, but you'll see suddenly there'll be one that pops up, and I end up putting a little kitchen out there just because when I looked at doing the floor plan, I was like, oh, well, this is going to be a tight fit. So I added the extension in, and I think that it makes a big difference because like the kitchen can be completely separate then. A kitchen is quite a big thing, I think, especially with like country home, cottage, farmhousey things. Like the kitchens they're like, because it's like a working home almost. I mean, it's not a farm they live on, but it's that sort of lifestyle, you know? So I think it's good to have the kitchen separate the way it is. And then here, I really love this little area too, having this little path off the driveway and then this little garden just on front. And I did those platforms, I used them to make them kind of look like raised beds for the plants. I mean, obviously they're not functional in that sense, but that's kind of what I wanted to do there. And I do like how that turned out. I think it's nice. I was being really picky with the plants and everything that I wanted in there though. Like really picky. I played a lot with debug this time too. I'm getting better with using debug. I don't know. Debug frustrates me. I feel like there's so many amazing items in debug that you can use for so many different kinds of builds. Like you could use the one same item and you can make it work for so many different styles. But, sorry, that was my ankle cracking. But I just don't have the patience to scroll through it, and I don't know, I can never find what I'm actually looking for when I'm going through debug. I don't know what, it's like I'm blind for that specific item that I'm looking for. It's really infuriating. But then I really liked having those little, you know, the planks for the fences. I just had some of them lying around and stuff. I just thought it looked quite realistic. Like, I feel like this house, they do the bare minimum to keep it going, but it's not in perfect shape, you know. It's an old house. It's been gradually renovated and extended here and there. Like this, I imagine being an extension onto the cabin sort of outhouse thing. Having that decking, I imagined that being an extension that they did when her son came back and they were getting more space and all that stuff. But yeah, and then I made some hay bales. I don't know, I just thought it fitted. I don't know why they have them, but they do. And that old car, and then just doing some landscaping that. I really like having this little roundy thing. Turning circles sort of thing. Do you know what? I've always said, if you have a turning circle outside your house, you are minted. That's it. It's a fact. Turning circles equal wealth. They do. I've always wanted a turning circle just to be like fancy. just to show off, be like, I have a turning circle outside my house. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with them, but I put one there. That's the first time I've ever done that in Sims, and I think it works really nicely. And then putting some like ivy in that, because like I say, it's an old house. They've kind of just let it go to the wild a little bit. So yeah, and I also think it just gives it so much character. Like, I love seeing old cottages have ivy and that growing all over them. Like, I know ivy isn't good for the actual structure of a build because it creeps its way into and it weakens the structure. I know that, but it looks really, really lovely though. I mean, personally, I think it looks super lovely. I think it always makes it look like a fairy tale cottage, that kind of thing. I do think it has that sort of atmosphere. But yeah, I'm just making things look a bit overgrown because, like I say, like they don't keep it in tip-top shape. They kind of just let it go to nature, really, which I think is quite nice, quite refreshing. And then I put that pickup truck there as well. Yep. So here's the extension I was talking about. It's nothing big, but I mean, to be honest, it's almost adding a third onto the house, though, isn't it? So in context, it's quite a big extension, I guess. Yeah, and I couldn't figure out if I wanted a modern roof or not. I was kind of thinking of doing like a metallic roof, but no, I don't. No, it was a bad idea. No. But yeah, so it's just that little thing, and then I have that little back door there next to the car, and I think that's really cute. It's a little cute little area. Yeah, I don't know. I used to be really into modern builds. It's all I would build all the time, and I couldn't do anything traditional or just not like clean modern, like, you know, modern boxy builds that I don't know. That's all I could do. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But recently I've just been, whenever I just start building something without an idea, it kind of turns into something traditional. But then having said that, I can't do many traditional styles. I can just do, I think it's just cottages, honestly. If you look at my recent builds, it's just cottages. But that's okay. I like cottages. I like cottages. That or Solani builds. At least I haven't brought you another Solani build. That's 2 in a row I brought you. I do miss the sun though. It's been non-stop snowing here and I really want the sun to come back. I mean, I love the snow. I really do love the snow. And I think it's really nice, especially now in lockdown. It's quite soothing actually to be like inside with like the fire on and having the snow outside and stuff. It is nice and snug, but also like the sun makes you feel happier, doesn't it? The sun does make you feel happier. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on from that. Here we're starting to work on this area here, and here, so you see I separated those roofs there. I made them 2 separate roofs so that I could remove the ceiling of the main room so that it could be just that like barn roof sort of thing. And then we had like a normal roof in what's kind of like a utility bathroom sort of thing. It's got the washing and it's got toilet and sink and that in there and some shelves and stuff. So yeah, I actually kind of like doing this rundown sort of look of builds. I do. I think it's quite refreshing actually, because when I was doing all these modern builds, like because everything's modern, everything's new, it has to work together. Like it has to work together. Otherwise it just looks like you can't build. But then with these sort of builds, you can have fun and you can really play with totally mismatching stuff, and like things have just been collected over time. So, you know, everything's gonna be like, I don't know, mismatched and just, you know what I mean? Like where you'll pick up random bits of furniture and stuff and then nothing goes, but because you've collected it, you know, maybe once a year something else has been added to the pile, you know, that sort of thing. And it's kind of fun to play around with that sort of style. So yeah, you'll see there we have the toilet and sink and the laundry just around the corner, and then here's just, it's just a little shelving storage area in the shed. Like I say, I imagine this was originally maybe storage for the family, so they still need somewhere to keep bits and bobs. But I do think this gives me very farmhouse vibes, this area in particular. Very much does. And then this is the hangout entertainment area, I guess. The area with the fireplace is the mum's area, and then the other side of it is her son's area. It's kind of what I imagined. You'll see kind of the difference in aesthetic, I guess, when I'm done with the 2 spaces. But I imagined that this is where he came and maybe they'd drink a little bit. And maybe he had friends around a lot and they would just, you know, hang out and have a laugh and stuff like that. But then maybe in the daytime she would come through here and she would hang out here and it'd be nice and peaceful for her. I don't know. That's just kind of what I was thinking. I did think about putting curtains on those windows just because they're big windows, but actually I think it was quite nice because it's such a private lot. Like they're just looking out into trees and this isn't their main living space, so I thought it made sense like not to have curtains, honestly. But I have fun with this room because I added loads of just random things on the walls. This is what I mean about having these older builds. I mean, obviously anyone, like if you live in a new house or an old house or whatever, you can have all these different like framed things and random things on your walls. Like that's totally normal. But when I furnish modern builds in Sims, I just can't pull it off. But here I felt like I had the freedom to just go with it, have fun with it, and it was really refreshing. It was really nice. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. And then of course we had to have a little bar in this entertainment room. I think it would actually be quite a cool space to have parties and stuff. It's like people who have, one of my friends, they had like a really big like double shed at the bottom of their garden, and they used to always have people round, and there was like a ping pong table in there and stuff, and just like seats and music and that. And honestly, like having something like that, I would love to have something like that. Because it's not always nice to have all these people in your house, so it's kind of nice for them to come like around the side of the house and go straight into the garden, into that like shed area, and that's just where they, you know, where they are. So you don't have people going in about your house. So I just really would love that, and I feel like that kind of, this is what that kind of is for them, but it's just a little bit fancier, I guess, because it's an actual building. But yeah, you'll see the difference of aesthetic there. Her area is a lot cozier and just like, I think a little bit more like, it's just more snug and like, you want to sit down and have a little chit chat, you know? And his area just looks a little bit more like for the purpose of having fun as such. And then out here, I put a little basketball thing because I've never placed one of them before. That's pretty much the reason. I was like, I've never used this. Why don't we use it? So I put it down. And let's try to find somewhere for that cart thing with the flowers. I don't know. Adding more ivy, because of course you gotta add more ivy. Come on, you gotta add more ivy. yeah, just blending it in and stuff. And I put like a little dining area, a barbecue and that on that little patio area because, like I say, this is the entertainment area for them. They have lots of spaces. While their actual house is not that big, they have lots of spaces around the lot to go hang out and do activities and stuff like that. And I think that's really nice. So here we are in the house. I did the floor plan off camera because it was a little bit wonky. So what we have actually in this house is we have one normal full bathroom. There's no baths in the house. There's a shower room, I guess you would call it then. And then kind of an ensuite, but it's just a toilet and sink. Oh no, actually no, that's a lie. I managed to fit a shower in and an ensuite for the mum. And maybe that was a more recent conversion because I wouldn't imagine that you would have an ensuite in a house like this normally. So maybe that was a conversion when her son moved in. Maybe she had like a wardrobe or something like that and she wanted her own bathroom because she didn't want to have to share with him, which I would understand. I hate sharing bathrooms with people. Last 2 years ago, I was really fortunate to live in a place that had the 2 bedrooms it had. One of them had an ensuite and I got the ensuite and I was so happy because I get really stressed using bathrooms that other people have used. I like my own space. I like it to be exactly how I left it, and I like it to be super clean and just, yeah, I just don't like sharing with other people. So yeah, I was really fortunate to get an ensuite, and I felt like I was living the life. Let me tell you, I felt fancy having an ensuite. But yeah, I'm just piling loads of pictures in that. I like this place to feel just a little bit cluttered, a little bit higgledy-piggledy. Yeah, I think it just gives it a nice, like they have lived here. It's like she's lived here, you know, since maybe she got married and this is the house they got, you know, that sort of thing. She's lived here for 50 years, you know, it feels like there's a lot of history in this build. A lot of memories too. And then I really like this little area. It's just a random little dining table. I don't normally put computers on a dining table like that. And here we are working on the kitchen now. And I like this kitchen. It's nice and bright. Like I say, it's a much more recent conversion. So you can tell it's definitely a little bit of a different era to the rest of the house. But I like that. I think it's nice. I think it's realistic. I don't know. I've been doing extensions a lot recently. Like having like an older build and then a modern extension. I guess you could say this build is kind of similar to my coastal cottage build, which is honestly one of my favorite builds. I really love that place. That build really makes me smile. It's quite similar to that, I guess, in the sense of it's an old cottage and it has this more modern, not as modern extension as Coastal Cottage. The Coastal Cottage has a really modern extension, which I love. It's so bright. Oh, I love it. But this kitchen I really liked. I actually really liked having those windows there, like that. Those snowy escape windows at the end there. I would never place windows like that, ever. I would never do that. But I did it, and I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Yeah, I like that space. I feel like that space is nice and clean and just more organised because maybe her son doesn't do any cooking and he just never goes in the kitchen. So that's why it's a little bit more like settled, shall we say. Yeah, I'm just adding little final touches and that. Lots of plants inside again, because would it be a Ribbity build without plants everywhere? I mean, really, would it be? You know what I just thought of there? What I would really love, it's such a tiny little detail. What I would really love is a little key hanging thing on the wall to put next to the doors. That's such a tiny detail, but that spice thing just made me think of it. You know, you just have little hooks and you hang your keys on them. I really want one of them now. Why do we not have something like that? That's so real. That's such a small detail, and it's such a great little clutter item actually. Because I could use them in bedrooms and everything as well. Like you could hang, I don't know, maybe people keep keys in their bedroom. I don't know. I guess if you live with like when I lived out when I was a student, obviously I kept all my stuff in my bedroom. I didn't keep like my keys and that hanging up in the, oh well, one place I did. The other place I didn't. I keep my keys in my bedroom, you know what I mean? So I would have a hanging bit for my keys there. So you could use them in the bedroom too. I just think that would be a really cute item actually. Now I really want one now. Anyway, I mean it's not the end of the world, but you know, we can dream, right? So this is the mother's room, and I went for a nice little like salmony pink kind of colour scheme. I think it's nice. I think it's quite, it does give off very granny vibes, I will say. But it also gives off that really just comforting mother sort of feel, because I guess she's been forced to kind of relive like being a mother again, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I can imagine when you obviously raise a kid, you're you know, motherly in that, and then they move out, you don't have so much need to be as motherly, you don't see them all the time, they don't love you, all this sort of stuff. But then moving in again, I feel like it's a big shift back to being that sort of mother. I feel like it's a natural thing for a mother to shift back to that. I mean, I'm not a mother, I don't know, but I feel like naturally it would be your instinct. Maybe, I don't know. And then this is the son's room, so it's a really small room, but I think that's quite common in cottages like this. Like, the rooms are not very big, and it's quite crammed in, but he has like a little space for like his guitar and all that sort of stuff, and just a bunch of clutter, things, stuff on the floor and that. Like, he's not very neat, he doesn't really care all that much. It's okay, I guess. People live differently. I personally like really neat spaces. My room is usually really neat. It's usually really neat. I get stressed right now in this room. I feel like I'm not so stressed when it's not perfectly neat, but it's because it's a new space, I'm still getting used to it. In my old room, everything had to be like right, otherwise I would get super stressed. But yeah, loads of stuff on the walls and everything like that, just like making it feel like it was his room growing up as well, and that he's just kind of had to move back, and everything's just stayed the same from when he left, you know? I really wanted this to be her little planty area where she goes and she just gets out in the fresh air, she relaxes, she maybe makes up some bouquets, and she just sits and, you know, does stuff with her plants, sits at the bench and does some potted plant stuff, you know, that sort of thing. That's why I really wanted her to do, because I think it's actually it's a really nice zone, like in that little ruin. I think that'd be a really tranquil place to sit, actually. I mean, it's at the front of the lot, but it's on that really quiet road in Windenburg. Also, I never said where it was. It's in Windenburg. So like really doesn't matter, it's at the front of the lot. And then this is the bit at the back of the house that you saw me landscaping, that like indent, and we just I've never used that before, and I'm really happy that I could finally use it. So we had a little dining space there, but here you'll see are the screenshots. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you like this build. If you want to download it, it's on the gallery. My ID is RibbityYT, and I will speak to you all very, very soon. I hope you have a great day. Bye!